one of the pieces of kit that can be quite expensive if you go out and buy them is a water filter. I decided to make my own filter principally because I always treat my water chemically, either with iodine or chlorine, but oftentimes the water sources that you're using are kind of suspect, and they can look quite chewable. So what I'd like to do is get all the junk out of there before I treat my water chemically. The filter that is my own design here. It does not treat water 100%. It gets the junk out of it so you can treat it chemically, which makes your water better tasting and a little more appealing. This filter is designed to remove things from the water, but it doesn't remove everything. So when you use this filter, you have to use some kind of chemical means or boiling afterwards. This is just a way of cleaning up water so it'll be more effective to treat it chemically. The filter itself is very simple. It's just made out of PVC. This is 20 millimeter PVC pipe, which I've got two sections, an upper section and a lower section, and then the little end here is a nozzle with a little piece of rubber on there to help the water get into the canteen better. I've been using this system in Brazil for about 8 years now, and I have never had a waterborne illness when using this filter with the chemical means. The pieces of the filter are quite simple. There's two sections of 20 millimeter PVC which have been sanded so they fit in the pipe joint so you can take it apart and put it together, but it has to fit snugly so that it doesn't fall apart in the bush. The upper section of the PVC just has a small wad of synthetic fiber that was bought in a pet store. This is not cotton, it's synthetic. Cotton doesn't work very well, but that's the pre-filter. As the water comes in the filter, it first passes through the little wad of fiber. That removes all the leaf debris and large organisms, whatever, can't get through that filter. The bottom section is filled with charcoal pellets, activated charcoal pellets, which I also bought in a pet store. This is used normally for repacking aquarium filters. Between the carbon and the fiber is a small plastic disc I've created to fit inside the tube, which keeps the charcoal in place. And that just fits inside the pipe joint. There's a little ring which keeps the two pipes evenly spaced in there, and the top section will trap that piece of plastic in there. The pipe reducer on the end channels the water down through the small section of inner tube rubber so it falls into the canteen nice and easy. It fits in the top of the canteen. So there you have it. Very simple, fast flow filter. Basically how I use this in the bush is I'll set it up on top of the canteen, and then I'll use my canteen cup to fill raw water from whatever source, stream or pond or lake or whatever, through the top. The water passes through the top of the filter. Usually what happens is it'll fill up and then slowly drain down through the carbon down below, but it'll fill up this tube, and as it drains down, I just keep adding more. The water first passes through the wad of fiber, synthetic fiber, and that drains out all the suspended particles, large things that you wouldn't want to drink or have in your canteen. It then passes through the screen, which is trapped in the middle, and then that pre-filtered water then travels down, drains down through the carbon pellets, and that'll trap all kinds of suspended particles or microorganisms and all sorts of things, which then passes down through the reducer, which the water then is channeled down through the little nozzle, which is made out of rubber on the bottom, and the water comes out very clear on the other end of it, much better tasting and much more effective to treat it chemically after that with either iodine tablets, iodine drops, or chlorine tablets or drops. So like I said, I've used this filter now for 8 years in Brazil. I've never had a problem with it. I've made other versions of it which are much larger, which I use when I take groups out in the bush. We usually have one or two of these, the large ones, set up at the camp. They have a much wider mouth, and they're much faster for treating larger quantities of water. But there's really no need to go out and buy a expensive filter. I do have an Explorer, a Pure Explorer, which I paid $150 for. I use it very rarely because it's very large. You do get very high quality water out of such filters, but I found if I'm going to treat chemically anyway, it's a much lighter system to use, and this takes up very little room in my pack, and it cost about $3 to make, which because I'm excessively cheap, I like very much. So if you want to make one of these, there's nothing patentable here. It's just basically a fish filter in a tube. Thanks for watching.